When people say, let's not just sit around and sing Kumbaya, they usually mean naive harmony, unrealistic optimism, a kind of sentimental peace that ignores reality. But Kumbaya didn't start as a joke. The word comes from a spiritual song rooted in the Gullah Geechee Black communities in southeastern United States. The phrase Kumbaya is derived from "come by here," a prayer asking God to be present. And that matters. Spirituals weren't just songs, they were survival. They were emotional regulation under violence, communal resilience under slavery and segregation. Enslaved West Africans forced into displacement developed Creole languages and musical traditions as a way to preserve identity and connections under conditions designed to erase them. Kumbaya was a plea. Come by here, my Lord, be present in the suffering. Later, during the Civil Rights Movement, spirituals like this were sung again, in churches, in protest circles, in marches. The singing wasn't naive. It represented strength and solidarity and acted as psychological armor. What later got associated with idealism was originally rooted in survival and suffering. So, how did a prayer asking for divine presence during oppression become shorthand for unrealistic harmony? The shift didn't happen overnight. As the song moved into mainstream American culture through church groups, summer camps, and the 1960s folk revival, it became associated with feel-good unity. The context of struggle faded, and what remained was the image of people sitting in circles singing about peace. And outside the urgency of real danger, that image began to look sentimental. Over time, commentators and critics started using Kumbaya sarcastically, especially in political discourse, to mock what they saw as overly idealistic or soft approaches to conflict. So the meaning drifted. A word born from suffering became shorthand for delusion. And this is something that happens often when language moves from marginalized communities into dominant culture. The emotional weight doesn't always come with it. The aesthetic remains and the urgency disappears. And I also want to say something personal here. I use the word kumbaya too, a lot. Sometimes sarcastically when something felt overly idealistic, sometimes genuinely as a shorthand for peace and unity or even utopian thinking. I always knew it wasn't like a Latin or European word, but I never actually looked it up. And I wasn't being malicious, I just wasn't curious. And I think that this is how it usually happens. Most people aren't trying to erase anyone. We inherit language, we absorb it from media, politics, and culture, we repeat it. We rarely stop to ask where it came from. But when we don't ask, something subtle happens. We participate in flattening, not intentionally, but structurally. And this isn't about guilt. It's not about policing every single word you say. Language is fluid, it evolves, it spreads across communities, and that's totally normal. The question isn't, am I allowed to use this word? The question is, what do I do once I know its history? Because once you learn that Kumbaya was a survival song, once you understand that it was sung by people facing real violence, it becomes harder to use it carelessly. Not forbidden, just heavier. And that's the point. For me, that changed everything. Once I understood that it literally means come by here, I couldn't use it the same way anymore. Calling something Kumbaya as a stand-in for naive optimism stopped making sense, both historically and linguistically. Now, I'm not saying no one can ever use the word. I'm just saying that once we know what something means, we have the option to be more precise. We don't have to research every word before we speak, but when we discover that a word has deeper roots, we can choose to carry it differently. Language carries memory, and when we understand the stories behind the words that we use, we stop flattening the people who created them, not through guilt, but through awareness.